Have you ever wondered, what are those people doing differently to save up $100,000, while I always feel stuck in the same place? And what if I told you the secret isn't about magic formulas, but about an uncommon mindset, the kind no one ever told you about, that can truly change your financial game? If you're tired of empty promises, quick fixes that only frustrate you, and you want to finally understand how to start, even with no money, this video is for you. Here, I'll show you how to change your mind before you change your bank account. We'll bust myths, break down barriers, and deliver a practical path for those who want to escape scarcity and achieve financial freedom. No nonsense. If you're committed, get the vision and stick with me to the end, because today you'll discover how to turn your mindset into money in your pocket, in a way almost no one ever shows. But you know what's even more curious? Almost no one talks about how the biggest blocker isn't out there. It isn't just about a lack of opportunity or magic formulas. The real blocker lives inside our heads. That's right. The beliefs and ideas you learned about money as a child form the foundation of your adult financial life. And there's the key. Changing your mindset is what really unlocks the path, even before the first dollar hits your account. To illustrate, let's do a simple calculation together. Suppose you buy a coffee for $5 every day. That's $35 a week, and at the end of a month, about $150. In a year, almost $1,800. Now, if you took that money and invested it at 8% a year, in 10 years you'd have about $26,400. Doesn't sound like much? Now imagine cutting out small unnecessary expenses, and instead of giving up everything, redirecting part of that toward a real goal, like building an emergency fund. The psychological impact of watching that value grow, month by month, feeds your confidence and shows you're in control. Can you see how just thinking differently already changes the game? So stick with me, because throughout this video, we'll explore together how small inner changes, unnoticed by most, are the tools that transform lives the most. And I assure you, your walk to $100,000 will start from the inside out. It's never been luck, it's always been mindset. In the United States, famously the land of opportunity, it's limiting beliefs that most sabotage the financial progress of everyday people. Since childhood, you've heard phrases like money doesn't grow on trees, only people from wealthy families become rich, or investing. That's for people with lots of money, not for us. These truths, passed down generation to generation, turn into unquestionable dogmas, shaping the way we see our possibilities. Take the story of Lisa, a single mom in Ohio, who grew up hearing exactly these sorts of thoughts. She lived in survival mode, always paying bills, stressed about the unexpected, convinced saving anything was impossible. One day, tired of the struggle, she decided to start saving just $20 a week. Seems small, right? But with discipline, in 5 years she'd built an emergency fund of over $5,000, and after that, had the courage to start investing. Can you picture it? A simple mindset change changed everything. The secret is to start with what you can, and not quit. Another common truth in American homes involves fear of failure. If you take risks, you can lose everything. This gets passed down generation after generation, along with the idea that stability is everything. Mike from Detroit believed this for 30 years. He only began investing at 45, after being laid off, and in a few years saw that, with planning and a growth mindset, it was possible to rebuild and thrive. Have you ever stopped to ask yourself, how many of your thoughts about money are really yours, and how many just came from outside, unquestioned? Which of these inheritances are you willing to break to change your story? Revolution, more often than not, begins with the courage to ask better questions. How many times have you jumped into the hype of a side hustle, bet on get-rich-quick investment tips, or taken a course full of hope, only to find yourself, after a few failed attempts, feeling powerless, as if luck only smiled on others? This feeling isn't just yours, it's global, but it seems especially alive in American culture, with all its stories of meteoric rises. The problem is often not the strategy, but the mindset behind it. Strategies and tactics alone are like powerful tools in the hands of someone who knows how to use them. But what about when there's silent sabotage running, like background software telling you this isn't for me? No tool can succeed. That result never shows up like it should. Sarah, for example, tried all sorts of side gigs, but gave up at the first hiccup. Why? Because she carried within her a quiet belief that she wasn't born to succeed. Another point, the get-rich-quick industry thrives on shortcuts. How many times have you been lured in by an irresistible promise, did everything right, and when results didn't come, felt even worse? That just strengthened another mental block. There's no point trying, nothing works for me. This creates a stronger and stronger self-sabotage narrative. Ask yourself honestly, when you try something new, what does your inner voice say? It'll work, trust. Or I already know it's not going to work for me. Face this head-on. As long as your internal narrative is frustration, there is no magic tactic that can beat self-sabotage. That's why transforming the way you think, react, and tell your own story is the first rule for achieving real results. Now it's time to talk about the game changer that separates destinies: scarcity mindset versus growth mindset. The scarcity-minded only see what's missing, live in fear of loss, and unconsciously limit their own results. Examples are everywhere. People who avoid risks, spend everything today, complain about cost of living, and never make plans for the future. Now, a growth perspective sees potential, learns from mistakes, and knows that skills can be learned regardless of age or background. Stanford University studies show that those who cultivate a growth mindset are more resilient in the face of failure and have greater chances of building lasting success. And this applies to money too. Remember Oprah? She grew up in severe hardship, suffered abuse, went through abject poverty. Yet, even in that scenario, she decided her origins would not define where she'd end up. Each fall became a lesson. Elon Musk, another classic example, went bankrupt several times before becoming a global innovation reference. What was the difference? They learned to redefine failure. From enemy, it became fuel. Now, think of Thomas Edison. Heard that classic quote? "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that don't work." A growth mindset does exactly that. Turns every setback into a lesson and eliminates the fear of trying again. Pause now and reflect. What was the last financial setback you faced? Did you use it as a reason to quit or as a starting point to try again, better, and more prepared? If you haven't adopted this mindset yet, know it's a choice you can make every day. It's in this detail that success stories are born. Now this video challenges you to look inside like never before. What are your limiting beliefs about money? And do you really know where they come from? Most people never take the time to face their own automatic thoughts. I'm not good with finances. Money disappears from my hands. I'll never get out of this cycle. Realize, these aren't absolute truths. They're scripts society, family, or your past planted in your subconscious. But once identified, they can be challenged, and that's where the power of transformation lies. Try a practical exercise now. Take a piece of paper and write down every negative phrase that comes up when you think about your finances. Don't be ashamed. Writing it down is the first act of courage. Then, next to each one, write a plausible and positive affirmation as a reply. For example, I don't know how to invest yet, but I can learn. It sounds simple, but it's powerful. You're consciously starting to rewrite your own script. Look at Tiffany, a teacher from Seattle. For years, she repeated the family mantra, "No one in my family ever got ahead, it'll be the same for me." Her turning point came when, fed up, she mapped those phrases and worked on them daily. She started seeking information, practiced what she learned in small ways, and gradually changed her destiny. She bought her own home, became a reference for her daughter, and felt proud for breaking the generational cycle. Which excuses weigh most in your daily life? I have no time, I'm terrible with numbers, it's better not to mess with it so I don't screw up. Realize, this self-sabotage shows up every time you're about to change reality. The secret is to notice, accept, and challenge yourself to act, even if you're scared. Recognizing beliefs is the first step. Overcoming them? That's up to you. Now let's understand how to really reprogram your financial mind. Neuroscience tells us our brain is malleable. It forms and undoes neural connections throughout life, shaping our behaviors and perspectives. That means, for better or for worse, you can intentionally reprogram yourself. Techniques like guided visualization have proven effects. When you picture a goal, like seeing your balance grow or making smarter decisions, your brain starts creating pathways to help make it happen. More than simply repeating positive phrases, it's essential to act on them. For example, visualize yourself saving that money you'd spend on coffee, then feel the pride for making that conscious choice. This creates a virtuous cycle of motivation and confidence. And more, seek out a group of people with similar goals. Positive social interaction reinforces the new behavioral pattern. The book Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill and podcasts like Tony Robbins are extremely rich sources to feed a growth mindset. And remember, even the best content has no effect if consumed passively. Read, reflect, write what you learned, and take at least one practical action a day based on this new knowledge. Science is clear: small habits, practiced with persistence, have exponential results over time. If today you swap a pointless expense for a constructive attitude, in a few weeks your confidence will be growing. And that will empower you to aim higher, because when mindset changes, everything changes. So reflect, are you feeding your mind more with fear or with evolution? Discipline, the trait that separates dreamers from achievers. It's no exaggeration. Almost everyone who wins at personal finance is the one who most consistently practices discipline. It's not about cutting out all fun and living a life of sacrifice, but about creating a sustainable system where little conscious decisions stack up into big results. Let's do the impact math of small habits. You know that $3 snack a day? Seems harmless, right? Multiply for a year. $3 times 365 is $1,095. Now suppose for 20 years, you invest that at a 7% annual average return. That becomes over $4,300. Sarah, a nurse from Texas, realized she was spending $50 per month on unnecessary subscriptions. When she cut them, she invested and watched her emergency fund rise, making the difference between stressing over an unexpected bill or having peace of mind knowing she's protected. Want a challenge? Track your daily spending for a week. What leaks do you find? Sum up those little purchases, multiply by 12 to know the annual impact. Now imagine investing that every year for the next 10 or 20 years. See how discipline is a shortcut to financial freedom, even for those who earn little. Discipline doesn't require perfection, just consistency. Mistakes happen, but the important thing is to regain control and move forward. When you realize even small choices build your future, it becomes almost impossible not to get involved. There are real stories of overcoming all around us. Ordinary people who changed their financial destiny without relying on luck, connections, or inheritance. Take Miguel, who arrived in New York not speaking English and started cleaning offices. Even with little income, he challenged his beliefs, studied finance, and decided to save a small amount each month, sometimes less than $50. In 5 years, he'd saved over $12,000 and used the money to open a small online store. 5 years later, he had over $120,000 in net worth. Amanda was a university student, hustling with odd jobs, stressed over student debt. Instead of just complaining, she went after scholarships, freelanced, and started investing early. It wasn't a miracle, it was the sum of dozens of small decisions, guided by the belief that growth is possible for those who face fear and move forward with discipline. Before 30, she was already financially free. There are thousands of people like that, combining knowledge, support networks, and discipline. None of them had everything going for them, but they recognized the power of a reprogrammed mindset. The great part is these transformations create a domino effect. Friends, family, even colleagues get inspired and start seeking their own growth. What about you? What's stopping you from being a role model? The journey will never be easy, but it's absolutely possible, and it all begins with that first small daily win. Decide to be the exception in your community. Now, I want to propose an exercise to strengthen your decision. Pause and think, which belief from what we've discussed has held you back the longest? Put it down in the comments below. This simple act of sharing lightens the weight and connects you with a powerful support network. The power of community is incredible. When we talk openly about our blocks, we inspire others and receive inspiration in return. Studies show sharing goals increases your chances of success by more than 70%, because you become part of a group that encourages you to keep going, even when it's hard. If this video opened your eyes to anything new, don't stop here. Hit like, share with someone who needs that push to start a new financial story, and write your story in the comments. Sometimes what feels like a personal obstacle could be the key to unlocking someone else's journey. Which challenge here resonated with your experience? What do you plan to change starting today? Your answer not only marks the start of your transformation, but also inspires those who come after. Let's build this movement together. As we finish, I want to reinforce a core idea. Your financial turnaround begins and ends in your mind. Wall Street, the Fed, stocks, and big gurus influence the environment, but only your mindset will guide your journey. You decide. Will you live trapped by old patterns, or choose to build financial freedom day by day? Don't let shortcut promises or miracle solutions distract you from what matters most. Discipline, learning, consistency, and a growth mindset. Out of invisible victories, visible success always grows. Reflect, what would your routine be like 5 years from now if you started today, changing small habits, strengthening your mind, turning mistakes into stepping stones, and building a positive relationship with money? The future belongs to action, and the perfect time to start is now. If this content made sense to you, if it touched something important, hit like, share it with a friend who needs to unlock their mindset, and leave a comment about the insight that impacted you most, or the internal barrier you plan to overcome from here on out. True community is about shared experiences and examples, and your story could be the missing piece for someone else's change. Make room for the new, nurture the right mindset, and take your first step on the journey to your first $100,000 today. The game is yours. It's up to you to get up and play.